Hi, welcome back to my channel. This video is about the Milan Art Institute Mastery Program, Part 1, Section 2 on Value Scale and Indirect Painting. In this section, we learned a process called indirect painting. This is a great technique for landscapes, and it starts with a first layer that feels very, very wrong. It starts with very vivid underpainting in really thin layers with quite a bit of fast-drying medium, so that the paint both flows well and that the layer dries quickly. I covered the whole canvas with bright color, and it took about 30 minutes, but I painted it really slowly with a big brush and took my time. I used the Gamblin Radiant line for this painting as recommended, and the course does give instructions for how to mix those colors if you don't have that particular brand of paints, which was nice. So on day 1, you just make this bright, crazy mess of colors in your background and then let it dry. One of the things that I really liked about this instruction is that Ellie talks about how bad her painting looks at this stage. And because I had her reference and her video to follow along to, even though we were doing different images, I could tell that my attempts, while ugly, hadn't gone astray. So next I worked on, while this was drying, drawing this set of 3 pairs in graphite. I didn't record that, but here's the completed drawing. The focus for this drawing was on values, getting your lights light, your darks dark, and having that value be representational to the reference photo. Once the first layer was fully dry, I began the second step, which also feels very, very wrong. After painting the edges a bit with the base dark color, I covered the entire painting with a dark blue. I wish I had added a bit of Payne's gray to make it even darker in retrospect. So after I covered the surface, I subtracted out the shapes and colors from the brightest parts of the painting, leaving behind interesting dark shadows in the dark parts. This creates a lot of depth and some strong contrast with all of the brilliant colors. I used a combination of brushes, rags, a subtraction tool, and even Q-tips to go through this step. And it doesn't look too bad by the time I'm done. This step took about 45 minutes, and we set it aside to dry. So now I'm just going to set this video to time lapse, and I'm going to put a layer of opaque paints on this painting. Once the darker layer was completely dry, I turned to opaque paints to add highlights and refine the details. This was my first time using oil paints to create clouds, and I'm in love with that process. I added details into the flowers, and at this point, I'm feeling frustrated. Painting all of these details are too loose to be fun for me, so it just felt sloppy and tedious to paint. After about an hour of struggling adding details to this layer, I decided to take a break. I came back another day, thankfully not in time lapse, and just turned on some blues music and started painting. Eventually, flow state arrived, and I have fun for about 45 minutes adding the fine details to this painting. is. This is my second painting, or second week of painting in the Art Mastery program. I don't love this painting, and I'm gonna stop before I make it mud because I keep futzing with it, and I have a no futzing rule, so I gave myself a little bit, but mostly I'm done. It's not bad. It doesn't really look like the reference photo, but that's okay. This was my first landscape with oil painting, and I absolutely frickin' love painting clouds with oil painting. You can get such like interesting blends like up here and wispiness that is just so super easy and satisfying. So I may never struggle with clouds and acrylic painting again. Yeah, I don't have much else to say about this other than I'm happy that week 2 is in the can. I'm moving on to week 3 of the Art Mastery program, and so far I'm having a blast learning to play with oils. After I recorded that conclusion, I had a coaching session. My coach suggested I knock back the middle mountain with a cooler color. And this is the before and after of that small change. Can you see the difference? Let me know in the comments. And if you like learning with me, be sure to comment with a hello and give me a like and subscribe because it really helps keep me motivated to making videos like this. See you next time.
With every brushstroke, I'm living out my scheme. Sketchbooks filled with pages of my soul's reflection. I find solace in art, it's my connection.